Let's do it.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the East Lyme Board of Selectmen regular meeting. It's April 1st, 2026, 7 p.m. We're in the East Lyme Town Hall upper meeting room. I'd ask you to rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, are there any additional agenda or consent calendar items? I'm not. Jason, no. I'm not aware of anything. Okay. Then, do we have any public delegations? Anyone that would like to address the Board of Selectmen this evening? Just please approach the podium and give your name and address for the record, please.
Don McKenzie, 10 Woodland Drive, Niantic, Connecticut. Good evening. I told everyone I was not going to speak tonight, as I said what I had to say at the last meeting. But as you could see from the results of the UConn game this past weekend, it's not over until the final buzzer goes off. Look, I'm sorry for what has transpired, as this panel does not deserve to be continually tested, but it has. And I'd like to make one more pitch to you all for your help. I do, because I do want to help. Please know I have no other aspirations to go any further politically, but I do believe I can help our town. My only reasoning is because I feel like I have and I can continue to do so long before entering politics. I was asked to be a member of the Harbor Management Commission, and I accepted and helped tremendously by the rest of the panel. Even our secretary, who is now the first selectman of Salem, she is a Democrat. In working 2 years with the Harbor Management, I could not tell you who was a D or an R. At the end of my stint, I was asked to be the commissioner of Harbor Management, but I declined. I was asked to run for the Board of Selectmen. I did manage to get on the board, and in my 2 years, I missed one meeting due to a total knee replacement. Yes, I am a Republican, as running a business, having to sign personal guarantees makes one pretty fiscally conservative. I think we would agree that if I had a D beside my name, I would have been elected, and to me, that's a shame. Please do not pigeonhole me. This is East Lyme, not Washington, D.C. I think you would agree we, East Lyme, could use a little more fiscal responsibility right now. During my time on the Board of Selectmen, I was asked to be a chair of the RTC. Again, not something I raised my hand to do, but Mark Salerno made a motion, and here I am. Before politics, I was head of the Connecticut Marine Trades. I was also involved in the push to stop the data center, as it did not help our town one bit, and today it appears to be dead. Our first selectman was on board with me for that campaign, along with our entire beach community. We never had to remind one another what party we were with. We had to do it. We had a job to do, and I feel we all benefited from it. We started the fire. The beach community did all the legwork, specifically the Black Point Beach Association. And yes, there were Republicans, Democrats, and unaffiliated all working together. For almost 35 years, I ran a successful business in town, and I gave back plenty. I graduated near the bottom of my class in high school. I flunked out of college the first time. I ended up here in the Navy in submarine service. I borrowed money from my in-laws to start my first business. I made it work and paid for it in 3 years. I took a sales position at Boats Incorporated and took the money from my first business and became a partner at Boats Inc. Listen, I know what works and would like to offer my help. Yes, I'm a Republican. Do not let the R word stop you from letting me help East Lyme as much as I can. I have a track record and work with each one of these folks up here, and I'd love to be as much help as I can for the remainder of the term that's left open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else that would like to address the panel? Yes, if you could identify yourself.
Yes.
And your address.
Sorry, I'm Nick Menapace. I live at 38 Hope Street. I do apologize. I wasn't planning on speaking on this. This is obviously a very short meeting, but I did want to let you guys know, because we've already had the questions come in from some of the other towns that I represent and ones in the area. There's already been a lot of misinformation about some of the things that are happening in regard to what the state of Connecticut is working on and how that might affect towns. I just ask all of you guys, if there's ever a question that you might have about any policy that is being talked about, please do ask me. I'm always available. I believe every single one of you guys knows how to get in touch with me. We are going to be starting more formal, like meeting each day to vote on things next week. So if there's ever any question about legislation that you think we might be hearing or that we are hearing, please do let me know. I want to be as informative as possible for you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Is there anyone else? Yes. And you know the drill.
Yes.
Your name.
Thank you. I've been here before, and I'm a guest at zoning quite often, so thank you. My name is Lisa McGowan, 33 Spinnaker Drive. I sit on the Youth and Family Services Board, and I'm a newly elected member of the East Lyme Democratic Town Committee. I'm the chair. I want to thank each and every one of you on the Board of Selected members, as well as the East Lyme Democratic Town Committee Executive Board and Governance Board for their hard work, patience, and sensitivity in your deliberation in choosing our next Board of Selected member. As you know, in November, the voters in East Lyme overwhelmingly chose a Democrat to represent them. 2 weeks ago, 4 candidates, Tony Attanasio, Mike Beckett, Carrie Edwards, and Kathy Uhas, were presented to you. All great candidates with different backgrounds, but would make great additions to the Board of Selected. And I want to say I trust Mr. Cunningham and the remaining Board of Selected members to make the best choice to fill the vacant seat. And I know the East Lyme Democratic Town Committee will support the new Democratic board member and offer that person support in doing their best job in order to serve the citizens of East Lyme. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Is there anyone else at this time?
Jamie Moore Shelburne, 31 McElhaney Drive. I'm here tonight about the opioid grant on the agenda tonight, and I'm asking that we take a pause on this. The Youth Family Human Services Commission did not hear about it until today, and we are very interested in this as we are still trying to ascertain how and where these opioid funds have been used over the years. If you will remember, I had been asking the town for quite some time about the whereabouts of these funds, and then they started pouring in after a Board of Finance meeting one day. It seems there may have been a verbal agreement, but not a written agreement, that these fell under our commission, and I know the difference legally between a written and a verbal agreement, but I also know that the police department is short on manpower, and that their budget still needs to be approved, and that this feels like we're putting the cart before the horse. And if you know me, I completely support the police department. You also know that I am very vocal in my support for drug abuse and prevention, and that this does not negate this. I just feel like we should take a pause and have a conversation about where this money falls, whose jurisdiction this money falls under, and maybe there should be a conversation between the two departments on where it does fall, and that decision should be discussed between the departments before anything gets talked about. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Going twice, 3 times? All right, we're going to move on. Thank you to everyone that took the time to address the board. Next on our agenda is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of March 18th, 2026. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes of March 18th, 2026 as submitted.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
All right. Does anyone have any changes or corrections to the minutes as they've been submitted?
Yes, so page 1, third paragraph from the bottom. It says John Lombardo, 2 Hillcrest Road,
Yep.
stated that he is a member of the Republican Town Committee. That's supposed to be Democratic Town Committee.
I think that's right.
Okay, and then also, in that same paragraph, on the second to last sentence, it says, if the Board of Selectmen do not appointment someone, I think it's supposed to be appoint.
A point. Yep.
Good catch.
That was it.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Sure.
On page 4, under Ms. Carlson's report,
It's just a typo. I don't think it really changes the content, but under Ms. Carlson reported, Board of Education had a public forum.
Oh, yeah,
Had.
yeah.
Should it be just had, or should it be held?
Probably held a public forum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, held. That makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Anything else? Okay. Then we good with that? All right, it's been seconded. We have some changes. Sandy, you were able to capture those changes? I heard it. All right, thank you. Yep. All right. And all in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That motion carries. Next on our agenda is the consent calendar. It's a light one tonight, only a few items.
Move to approve the consent calendar for April 1st, 2026 in the amount of $150.49.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Candace. All right, any discussion? Then, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, old business. We are now going to revisit what we had begun at the last meeting, and we took a pause just to make sure that we were on good ground here moving forward, and I believe we are. We have an opinion of council that's attached that discusses the resignation, so I think we can move forward.
Move to appoint Don McKenzie as a replacement for the vacancy on the Board of Selectmen.
Okay, do I hear, so we have a motion on the floor to appoint Don McKenzie. Do I hear a second? Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Okay. So let's have discussion. Roseanne, was your motion?
Yes. I think that the board has faced some very difficult times in the past few months with the vacancy that now exists, and we're in a very tough budget cycle. I really think that we need somebody who has had experience with this board, who knows how it operates and the procedures, and can jump in right away and take the seat and get down to business. He has been very faithful in attending meetings, a great contributor, and we have a number of candidates here who are qualified as well, but I feel that he tops the list because, so to speak, he's action ready.
Okay,
Thank you.
appreciate your comments. Any other comments or discussion before I call a vote?
I would like to say something,
Yeah.
actually.
Please.
So I'm not going to reiterate every single word that I said the last meeting, but I did speak to how things didn't seem right for how this has all transpired. And I will echo what Roseanne just spoke to in regards to Mr. McKenzie, because the truth is there was no, I would love for you to be sitting here, okay? And this isn't about, for me, this vote, this is not about the possible candidates in the room. This has nothing to do with Don McKenzie personally and or any of the other applicants personally. I am incredibly challenged with being asked to participate and or perpetuate robbing, literally robbing another woman who is an elected official here in this town. And I will not do it. I will not do it to gift that seat to Mr. McKinsey and/or anyone else that the DTC may be putting up. There is something very wrong here. I spoke to it at the last meeting. I stand on it. Look at me. I stand on it. As you're shaking your head, I stand on it. There is something wrong here. Okay? And it's getting pushed through. It's getting pushed through quickly, too. Because TikTok, this needs to get done tonight, and if it doesn't get done tonight, it gets done tomorrow night. And if it doesn't get done tomorrow night, it needs to get done, I guess, before the DTC can fill it. So I don't really understand that, because I really don't have the political stuff going on here, but there's definitely something wrong. There is. And I'm not going to just sit here and not speak to it. Anyone that thought that maybe I would, not going to do it. Someone spoke at the last meeting about a bait and switch. What I can tell you is it's not a bait and switch on the Republican side. Might be somewhere else. Don't know. But on this one, I will be on the right side of history, and I will not participate in this. That's all I have for now.
Okay. Anyone else has comments? At this time, I will call the vote. Those in favor of Ms. McKenzie being appointed signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Opposed.
And those abstaining?
I abstain.
Okay, so you abstain, so that makes it, so the motion does not carry. Do I hear any other nominations?
I'll move to nominate Anthony Antanasio to fill the Selectman vacancy seat.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Have some comment?
Okay. So, yes, I nominated Mr. Atanasio because I feel like he's got, I don't know, I think it was probably not quite before I was born, but he's been involved in politics for many, many years, also being on town council for the town of Ledger. So I think he has good experience. He's been on the Board of Trustees for East Lyme Public Library for 21 years. He did the Charter Revision Committee for the town of East Lyme. He's been on the Board of Assessment Appeals for 4 years. He was a representative for the 20th State Senate District, Connecticut Democratic State Central Committee for 6 years. He's been on the East Lyme Historic Properties Commission for 2 years. He also, which I think is important, is his background. He's a software engineer. And I worked a few years ago with, I can't think of his name now, Mike, I think that was his name. But he was an engineer, and I thought he was great because I have a legal background, and an engineering background is completely different, and he would ask some really thought-provoking questions. So for these reasons, I am nominating Anthony Antanasio.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or from the board?
I'd speak on behalf of Tony also. I've worked with him over a number of years, and he has a way of being able to see right through an issue to its core, seeing it as it is, and predicting what will happen, what needs to happen. And I know he's a tireless worker for the folks in East Lyme. I know he's served in many different capacities and just has a wealth of experience. And you don't find specimens like Tony every day. I consider him a friend and a confident and just an all-around great guy. That being said, I would also like to broach the issue of kind of what Candace spoke on earlier, that the perhaps inappropriately called Board of Selectmen was primarily a female body not long ago when we had 4-2. And I think that reflected the will of the voters. I think a lot of people have a lot to say about interpreting the will of the voters, and really it should not be our job to do that. But here we are, we find ourselves in that position. And I would I would echo some of this sentiment from Candace, but I would also caution that we are all human, and this is a human machine, and humans make interesting situations come up that we have to solve. And whoever ends up in this spot, I hope that there is no shadow cast over the public sentiment about them. I believe everyone who's entered this bargain is doing so at the best of intentions, and everyone sitting at this table is not here for anything other than, glowing positive intention. So I would just say have a little grace with the people and ourselves as we try and muddle our way through this, and know that, Tony, I'm a big fan, but I am not in support of your candidacy.
Okay. So, any other?
I'll make a comment
Yep.
in that I have known Mr. Anastasio for many years and known him to be a very active member of the community on numerous boards and commissions, but I think it would be rather two-faced of me to vote for him, as I had felt that my nominee was better qualified. So I will not be voting for him for that reason.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, let's call the vote. Those in favor of Tony Anastasio signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Opposed?
And abstaining? You're abstaining?
I'm abstaining all
Yeah.
night from this one.
So it's 2-1, or 2, 1 abstaining, so the motion does not carry. Do I hear another nomination? I'll nominate Mike. Oh, yeah,
Mike Beckett.
I know, Mike Beckett, for the position of the Board of Selectmen. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. Discussion. I've known Mike a long time. He's done a lot of volunteer work for the town. He's very knowledgeable. Has been an assessor in different capacities for many years. Has great financial knowledge. I think would be an asset to the board in the endeavors that we must follow that involve financial considerations. And he's been on the several committees and has helped out a lot in many different ways. So I think he would be a wise choice. So that's my support for Mike Beckett. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think Mike is a wonderful guy and has a wealth of knowledge. And not only has the wealth of knowledge, but is also an advocate, speaking up, for the Commission on the Aging. I've asked for his counsel, with personal issues regarding people in my life who are aged, and he's been very helpful and forthright, and I appreciate him and consider him an asset to this community, not just in terms of governance like this board, but also kind of assessment appeals and finance and just his advocacy. But as I said before, to adequately reflect the will of the voters as I see it, I could not support his candidacy either.
Okay. Any other comments? I'll call the vote. Those in favor of Mike Beckett signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Opposed?
And one abstention. So again, it's 2-1, and the motion does not carry. Do I hear any other nominations?
I move to nominate Carrie Edwards.
I'll second the motion. Discussion?
Well, I'm a teacher, and Carrie's a teacher, so there's an understanding there. But beyond that, I think what all teachers know is an open secret that there is no way to learn other than to do. And if we want to grow leadership within our town, we have to give an opportunity to people who are willing to learn. And people who want to learn. And I do believe that the other candidates would learn and do well as well, but they wouldn't do any better, I think, because you only learn how to do this job once you're in this job. There is no preparation. There's no Board of Selectmen school. So I know that she has a deep and abiding appreciation for education. She's very smart, very kind, very patient, and not afraid of a challenge. You know, someone who serves as both a assistant, quasi-assistant principal and teacher. That's a very difficult place to find yourself sometimes, and I think being diplomatic and her diplomatic side is probably well served in that position, and will be well served, or will all be well served by that in this position.
Great, thank you. Any other comments with respect to Carrie?
I'm going to reiterate that I feel that the difficulties that this board has been operating under these past few months with basically having a 5-member board, that I still feel that this is not the time for a learning curve. This is the time to get somebody in here who's experienced, who's been with the board, who knows the procedures, and can act quickly, who's been through the budget process and other difficult decisions that we've had to face.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else who wants to be heard?
I would say I agree with Roseanne. I think that Ms. Edwards is definitely qualified. However, I think the lack of experience is just glaring, and I think in another few years that she would be a perfect candidate for the Board of Selectmen. I was on inland wetlands for 2 years in the Board of Finance, and it's a huge learning curve. And I think we need somebody who's going to really hit the ground running.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I would just add that the voters chose Cindy Collins, who did not have tremendous experience working with this body or really in any kind of electoral capacity. So that is good enough for the voters of East Lyme. It should be good enough for us.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? All right, I'll call the vote. Those in favor of Carrie Edwards signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay. Opposed.
And 1 abstention. So we have 2, 2, 1. All right. Do I hear any additional motions?
I move to nominate Kathy Uhas.
I'll second. Let's have discussion.
I think Kathy has fantastic wisdom. Sometimes I feel like it's otherworldly wisdom, that she just knows things through a life of well-lived and a kind of comprehensive understanding of how the world works and how things fit together that I think would be great for this board. She is also new to the world of electoral politics, as was Cindy, as was I when I got started, as were all of us when we got started. I think she would be a real asset to this board.
Okay. Any other comments about Kathy? I've known Kathy for a long time. She's a very, I think, sensitive person, looks at the issues, speaks her own mind, and I've seen her assimilate knowledge and rather quickly on some of her other responsibilities in town. So I support her. I think she'd serve us well. Having said that, I will now call the vote. Those in favor, Kathy Uhas, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed.
And abstentions? We have 1. So it's 2, 2, and 1. Is there anyone else that wants to raise a nomination for this position?
I'd like to nominate Cindy Collins, because Cindy Collins is being robbed of her elected seat in this town. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. Let's have a discussion. Candace, did you want to say?
Yes, I did.
Yes, please.
Yes, I did. And I'm going to start with East Lyme deserves better than this. I shouldn't have to stand like this the way that I have. And I'm not backing down on it, just so everybody's clear. Cindy Collins was elected overwhelmingly in this town, regardless of whether or not she is a Democrat or a Republican or unaffiliated. I sit here tonight as a Republican. I have been the loudest, outspoken person for this woman, and she's a Democrat. Simply because I think that there is much more behind this, and where there's smoke, there's fire. I am proud that the last meeting, by the end of the meeting, finally got it tabled, because the next morning as I was sipping my coffee, I was choking on the article that I was reading. Whether or not it's true or not, I mean, I'm not a judge, but I would imagine that that will come out, whether or not it is or not. But again, where there's smoke, there's fire. And then the quickness of it, this is what we must do. I don't believe that that's what we should be doing. I don't know all the details. And there's always one side, then there's another side, and then there's the truth. So I know that that woman walked in here. It had to have taken a tremendous amount of courage for her to come in and stand up and rescind her resignation, which apparently is not legal. I don't know. But then again, I don't know how legal it is, hypothetically, if someone was encouraged to resign from their elected position. I don't know how legal that is. I'm not a lawyer. And if that is what happened or not. I also don't know what kind of world do we live in where somebody else might be dictating a resignation letter and then seeking out somebody to sign it. I don't know. I know that I wouldn't be doing that. So I'm going to give the board one last opportunity to possibly maybe make something right that has gone wrong. I don't know. So that is why I had nominated her. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
I think that I appreciate the sentiment. Maybe I disagree a little bit on the tone with Candace, but I do believe that Cindy was elected by the town. She was placed here. The conditions of her departure, I'm pretty certain will come out in time, especially if there is, a complaint at the Attorney General's desk. All those things you don't know, keep reading, and it eventually will become a matter of public record, for better or for worse. However, at this moment, the voters wanted her. She wants to be here. Why should we stand in her way? I will acknowledge that the last few weeks have been kind of erratic, and maybe Cindy being welcomed back on the board would make her difficult to work with in this capacity, but again, that's not our choice as Board of Selectmen members. We should play the hand we're dealt with. I would support bringing Cindy back to serve out her term and let the voters decide how they feel about it when the time is right. I believe pretty firmly that the only way you should leave office is an election, or you die, or in some very rare cases resignation. But really, it's kind of a sacred duty you hold to the voters, and they put a sacred trust in her, and so I think we need to honor that, for better or for worse.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, let's put it to a vote. Those in favor of Cindy Collins signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
Motion doesn't carry. Is there anyone else that wants to nominate someone for this position?
What would be the procedure if can we extend for another meeting, the second meeting?
No,
Or
we can
call
do this
for a special
tomorrow.
meeting?
We have another meeting tomorrow. I don't know if it's, unless there is another candidate that, you know,
Perhaps in light of the circumstances and the events this evening, we could re-nominate someone, even though a motion has failed. I mean, there's no rule against that, is there, procedurally?
no, I don't think so.
Then I would nominate Tony Atanasio.
I'll second. Do we need any further discussion?
Once again on the merry-go-round.
All right. All right. Then let's call the vote. Those in favor of Tony signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oppose?
Abstain?
I abstain.
All right. So it's 3-1-1. Motion carries. Congratulations, Tony. Okay.
What would be next? Being sworn in and then
Yeah.
bringing the board to the next meeting?
Yeah, he'll have to be, go to the town clerk, be sworn in, take the oath, and then we'll move forward after that.
Cool.
All right.
I don't know if it's my place to say this, but thank you for all who participated. This is pretty unprecedented and wrenching and not in the least bit fun for any of you involved, so thank you.
Well, I thank everyone and all the comments, all the board members. There's a lot of passion here. And I think everyone is trying to do what they believe is right, and I respect that. I do thank those that held themselves out and for some public scrutiny here, and it's not easy being voted on.
It's not easy to vote on people.
To what? No, it's not easy. It's a difficult thing. It's no fun. But I think we've had a fair process, and we've concluded it, and so now we can move forward. So thank you, everyone. Next is next on the agenda is to authorize the first selectman to sign a photo enforcement services agreement with Ultimate. That's the automatic traffic enforcement safety device. We did supply. They did. We had some concerns last time that we spoke, and we met on this, and I can refer you to specific sections. On page 1, section 2, subsection A, they added exceeds the posted speed limit by 10 or more miles per hour. So that was a change. Page 4, section 2, subsection M. I have a comment from Chief Glenn. This is concerning signage and speed signs. Speed signs will be covered under any additional signage will be provided by the client. I will request the speed signs be added to any speed camera locations. The request will go before the Board of Police Commissioners, so there's no need for modification. Looks like the contract language covers it, and there'll be a mechanism through the Police Commission with the Chief of Police.
If there's any, Chief Glenn, if the police commission doesn't want to put up the signs next to the cameras, could you notify the Board of Selectmen? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I think people need to have
Yeah.
notification, so I just want to confirm that it's either done or not done. So we...
All right. Page 12, section 17. I had to change the governing law venue to New London.
Yeah.
I think that was
There was a
an
typo.
artifact from some other
Yeah.
contract.
No, I had highlighted that under number 17.
Yes.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
they caught that and they changed it.
Changed it to
Thank you
New
for
London.
catching that.
Yep.
And then on page 13, 30 days, it changed from 90 days, and they added any recorded video or photograph obtained through the use of a VOCAM system must be destroyed within 30 days after the final disposition of the recorded event. Only the identifying vehicle information needed to facilitate the second offense violation will be retained. So hopefully that addresses the concerns that we had.
So would I talk about the correspondence now? Did we vote on that or no? Or moved it?
You could do it at any time. I think that's separate from this, maybe?
Okay, got it, okay,
This is just the contract?
got it.
Yeah. Okay, so with those changes in mind, any further discussion?
I believe you need a motion to begin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is the chief is here with us this evening?
Yes.
yes.
So I hear a motion.
All right, move to authorize the first selectman to enter into an agreement with Altument, Inc. entitled, quote, Photo Enforcement Services Agreement, end quote.
I'll second.
We have a second. Thank you, Candace. Any discussion?
I'm just wondering if the chief would like to make any further comments, any other points of clarification?
Certainly invite the chief to the podium. And if there are any additional questions or clarification, he's here to try to answer those.
Hello. So I have nothing further to add.
Yeah.
After last meeting, I believe that all the concerns were addressed,
Yeah.
working with Ultimate, and that's the contract you have in front of you now.
Yeah. And I've reviewed it, and and it's been before the board. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell the vendor thank you for making those changes.
Yeah, they were very
That was-
efficient.
Yeah, that was efficient and, that was nice. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So my question initially was about the certification of destruction, or what happens to digital records after the 30 days or 90 days, or I see now it's 30. What is the procedure? Were you able to get any clarification on that?
I was, because it didn't have anything to do with the contract. I didn't bring it with me tonight, and I apologize for that, but I can certainly send to the full board the explanation from the technology leader from Ultimate. He did answer the question. It's above my head technology-wise, but I can provide that to you.
Also, this is new to me, new question, I guess, which is, I'm just curious about public record. Ultimate says that they're not the official custodian of a public record. Maybe Tracy could even speak to this. Like, what is a public record? And if it's information attained by the town of people when they're in public, how is that not a public record? And how could they waive that right if they are, in fact, collecting it and storing that information?
What number are you on?
This is my department.
You're on page 13.
He's like, I'm out.
19. It
Page
says
13.
Ultimate is neither a government agency nor the official custodian of a public record, as those terms are defined by the Connecticut State General Statute, not General Statute.
What I can tell you, Mr. Diebel, is that this is a fairly recent development throughout Connecticut about whether or not these traffic enforcements are indeed public, because they're owned by private companies. That I know I looked at the flock explanation for why they're not public records, and they seem to have think that they have come up with a way around that, and I think the time will tell. It has not been decided by any Connecticut court
Any
yet.
judge,
I
yeah.
expect that it will reach that point. So at this point, I shouldn't offer an opinion on that, except to say that the jury's out on that.
Okay. Well then, if you guys would permit, I have probably 3 minutes worth of a statement that I just want to kind of share with you, hopefully to persuade, hopefully just to become part of the record.
Sure.
In light of Chief Glenn's remarks about, he doesn't understand a certain aspect, and our town attorney saying she doesn't understand the full implications yet because no judge has decided. Am I speaking?
Just to clarify, the definition of a public record is a record held and kept by a public agency. Well, clearly these private camera companies are not that, or these digital flock camera, and they've tried very hard to keep all the material themselves.
Yes.
Whether or not the Freedom of Information Commission and eventually the courts will agree with that interpretation, we don't know. But that is their way of saying it does not fall under the definition of a public record because we maintain all of these records, we keep them, and we are not a public agency. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Well, if you'll permit me to plow ahead with this,
Sure.
I believe that we should table considering this contract. I feel there's too much that we don't know about this technology, where the data goes, what becomes of it, who has access to it, how they can use it, how long it will linger in cyberspace, where it might land. And I do not feel that our ignorance is a product of incompetence. I just think that this is a new frontier in law and law enforcement. And though some might argue this is just the next step in a logical procession of evolving technologies, I have to insist that this is really a new way of monitoring the community. And I believe there are grave implications, and I think a community-wide discussion is necessary. Oftentimes when you encounter something new, we don't even know what questions to ask at the beginning. As a teacher, I see people every day struggle to connect what is new with what they already understand. This is a very human thing to do, and I think we can all be forgiven for not fully grasping what is before us tonight. So I consider myself to be a reasonably intelligent person, and the more I learn about this technology, the less comfortable I am inviting it into our community. And I know I'm not alone. People within East Lyme have been contacting me directly since articles about these cameras started appearing in the paper, and I see recently that these folks have started emailing the rest of the board too. Beyond that, people I know at work, people I see socially, have started bringing up these cameras in conversation with the intent to express their opposition to them. It's a strange feeling when people say, hey, I saw the article in the paper, and then kind of go on about their opinion, and it's generally in opposition. It happens with surprising frequency, and I don't know, maybe you guys have had those conversations too. Maybe you've heard the opposite. I have not. So my opposition to the cameras is well known by now, but where are these people? I could just be manufacturing them to bolster my opinion or my opposition. Where were they when we had the 2 public hearings? It's easy to say that they missed their chance to weigh in. If they really cared, they would have showed up. But that doesn't sit right with me. This is new and strange technology. It takes time to wrap your head around something new like this, and I do not think we're giving the issue the time it requires. Around us, other communities have implemented these technologies. Some have implemented them and then deactivated them after things didn't quite pan out the way they were supposed to. According to NPR, Flagstaff, Arizona, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Eugene, Oregon, Santa Cruz, California, and some 30 other municipalities have deactivated flock cameras or canceled their contracts since 2025. Fox News reports that Palm Bay, Florida recently took down all their speed cameras. Now, these are described as different technologies, and I shouldn't conflate them, I suppose. However, are they really different? If the distinction between them is so slight that your average person in East Lyme would be unable to tell them apart, then are they really so disparate? And if they are, perhaps we should take more time and explain these things to each other. So once again, I would urge the board to table this contract for now and give it more time to have a community conversation.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
In light of your statement, maybe it would be wise at this point, we did have some correspondence. It was on the statute.
Yeah.
It really
So-
it isn't on the contract, but it may be.
Do you want to ask those questions
Pardon me?
of Chief Glenn while he's here? I actually did pick it up and thinking, do we want to ask him these questions, maybe publicly, that way he can answer them? I would say yes.
If,
How does everyone else feel?
well, yeah, I mean, Chief Glenn is here if he has the answer.
Yes,
If he's,
I'm sure that he would.
You mean the questions that were emailed?
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't really questions. If you read the emails, it's kind of like, vote no on this, it's a total overreach.
Before we get into the questions, can I just speak on about that comment that you
Please.
just made? Just a few things, and with all due respect, it's not new technology. It uses radar and LiDAR. That's what we use on our police vehicles today and for the past several years, many years, decades. So the technology is not new. I'm trying to be careful out of respect for transparency during this process and not giving an explanation regarding where deleted files go. Just like I can't tell you where a deleted Word document goes once it's deleted. I don't think anybody would stand up and say we shouldn't use Word documents in the town of East Lyme anymore, right? It's the same thing. I'm not a tech person. Doesn't mean it's not an easy explanation. I know once it's deleted after the 30 days, then we do not have access to it. It can't be released. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist anymore. So this isn't, shouldn't be confused with flock technology. It's a completely different platform. and program.
Thank you for that. I'm in full support of it, just to be clear. I feel like wherever I go, I'm on camera anyway, okay? And if I'm speeding, I'm probably going to either gotten it from the sky or from some secret, it's just going to happen. So I'm always trying to be mindful. I feel like this is already happening all around us anyway. If I go to New Jersey, if I go to Pennsylvania, if I go to New York, I'm getting something in the mail just for a toll. I mean, it's not for speeding, but for a toll. So I guess this came through an email, and there were some concerns. So let me just read it out and see what you think, and you can just speak to it at least. It says, core concerns are privacy erosion. This technology establishes permanent infrastructure for tracking our movements, allowing private companies to profit from our data and leaving it vulnerable to misuse. Yes, no, thoughts on it?
They will make a profit, this vendor, but they'll make a profit off of a violation under a Connecticut general statute that allows us to have a town ordinance to issue a fine. That's their only profit source. They don't sell any data or information. They don't retain it.
Very good. Thank you. I can keep going. Automated injustice. Replacing human judgment with error-prone algorithms compromises due process and the human element of policing.
Yeah, due process is something that I don't think is used appropriately in that comment. The due process that you're afforded is the hearing process. Anybody would be allowed due process if given a fine.
Very good. Thank you. And I appreciate you going along with this to trying to help. Go ahead. Yeah.
So due process, the hearing, there's no judicial oversight in this at all. The hearing is law enforcement, correct?
No, the town of East Lyme will appoint a hearing officer. It's outside of the police department.
So it would be administrative, municipal?
It's administrative. It's not, the fines do not go to a Connecticut court. It never enters the judicial system at all. It's a town ordinance. Just like if you park in a no parking lane or zone on Main Street and you get a parking ticket, it's the same thing. You're not going to end up in court.
I mean, there must be a long legal precedent for this, but I think the added element has to be the Fourth Amendment, the search and seizure, unlawful search and seizure. This kind of does the searching. This adds that element of search. So I find it really hard to believe that there is no judge, no jury. Like if I say I don't agree with this, it goes to Karen Galbo. I mean, who's it going to be?
That'd be up to the Board of Selectmen to name a
Okay.
hearing officer.
Would it be inappropriate to say judge of probate? That's a department right across the street.
I don't want to broach that. So, I mean, that's.
Okay.
Okay, so we
Why
can
not
revisit it.
do the
How about
judge
that?
any
We'll
favors?
revisit it.
So I'm just
So
going
we're
to
definitely putting the cart before the horse here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All that's
But
being
write it
discussed
down,
tonight
because it's a good question.
and considered
We'll
is the
revisit.
contract between the town of East Lyme and the vendor so that we can move forward. Part of moving forward is not only collecting all the data and the analytics for the locations, but holding a series of public hearings where we can hash all these things out.
We did pass the ordinance.
Yes.
So we're beyond that point. This is where staying in line with our purchasing policy and awarding a contract.
All right, thank you.
So
I
it's a
just
little
have
bit
two more, okay? Regressive burden. These systems often act as a backdoor tax, disproportionately affecting working-class families.
Sure. So it's not a tax, it's a fine. You have to commit a violation in order to get that fine. And, disproportionately affecting, what was the term that was used?
Disproportionately affecting working-class families.
Sure. So I think working class families and their children deserve public safety also, deserve to be able to cross the streets safely, walk down the streets, and drive through other neighborhoods.
Agreed. And my last one, data vulnerability. Information collected can extend far beyond traffic enforcement, tracking personal associations or political affiliations, and is susceptible to hacking and/or sale.
I could go on record and say that this program is not going to determine whether somebody's in one political camp or the other.
Okay. All right. And I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Is that the same document?
That is exactly what
that's-
I wrote. That's exactly what I read out.
Okay. All right. So we're on the record with everything that.
Well, the first part of it was not
What is the
expressed.
first part that I missed? I said my core concerns.
I'm expressing my firm opposition to proposed automated speed cameras and license plate readers in our
Oh,
community.
I
despite being
wasn't,
framed-
I wasn't gonna read the whole thing out, but you can read it out. I just
On
wanted
this
to
far,
address the
despite being framed as a
concerns
safety initiative,
and
these
the
systems are
questions.
primarily enabled pervasive surveillance, treating all residents as potential suspects. This approach prioritizes revenue generation over genuine public safety, eliminating crucial officer discretion. Then my core. And then, not that we can really respond to this, but Mr. Jacobson added, vote no on this, it's a total overreach.
I could respond to that if it's all right with the board. We already have a town ordinance, so we have a program. There's nothing to vote on as far as turning the program down. We're not supporting this. The only vote tonight is in relation to the contract between the town and the vendor.
I have questions about the vendor. You guys see the article in today's paper about Groton City planned speed cameras?
Yes.
So
I didn't read it, but I saw the
I
headline.
just dug around. I believe the vendor that they're using is Dacra Tech, and we are going with Ultimate. So I would envision that there's a variety of these different services that are, I mean, as soon as this stuff hit the paper, I also got solicitations from companies that were trying to get me to use them. So going back to purchasing policy, did something happen behind the scenes where we stacked up these people next to each other and said these have the best deal for the taxpayer, these are the best quality cameras?
It's a good question. Yeah, so in line with the purchasing guidelines for the town of East Lyme, an RFP, RFQ went out. I think I talked about this in going back months in the initial meeting. An RFP, RFQ was released by the Council of Government. It was a competitive process. It was everybody who applied. There were a number of vendors, including that vendor, submitted their references and their proposals and qualifications, and Ultimate won that contract. So they have the Council of Government contract, and that's in line with the East Lyme's purchasing guidelines to use them. That's so all 169 municipalities don't have to go through that lengthy, expensive process.
Okay. Those are all my questions.
That's a good question.
I would like to say, just before the board votes, that I kind of resent the air of inevitability about an ordinance being passed, the horse being out of the barn. We already voted. I would go back to T.S. Eliot, who says it's never too late to become what you might have been. And I think these things are only inevitable if people don't have the courage to kind of have conversations about them. So with that, I'm all set, I guess.
T.S. Eliot. Like Rat's
Oh,
Feet
no, I'm
on
sorry.
Broken Glass?
George Eliot. Sorry, George.
What? Oh, George, okay.
T.S. Eliot. Different Eliot.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll go back to English class some other day, but
Where's Carrie?
there you go. Okay, any further discussion on this matter? No? I'll call the vote. Those in favor of authorizing me to sign the contract with the vendor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
So it carries 4-1, motion carries. Thank you. And I appreciate your point of view, Jason.
Thank you, Chief
Thanks.
Glenn.
Yeah, and thank you, Candace. Okay. Now, we're going to move to new business, but before we do, before everybody bails out of here, there is one thing I wanted to say. I'm going to deviate from the agenda very slightly. And Justin Porter is here tonight, and I wanted to recognize Justin Porter. He was the 2025 Connecticut Public Works Supervisor of the Year Award. He was awarded by the New England chapter of the American Public Works Association. So, Justin, congratulations. We're fortunate to have you in town here, and you do a great job, and we're very appreciative of all that you do here. Thank you. All right, so now I'll return to the regular agenda. New business, approval of department and interdepartmental transfers.
This one's going to be tabled.
I believe, I see Kevin Gervais out in the foyer.
It's tabled. It's tabled.
It's not ready, so we're going to table it? Okay, so
All right.
this,
So the reason it's being tabled is it's not ready, and when's it going to be tabled to?
well,
Next meeting?
when should it be tabled? To what? 5-1.
5-1.
Okay, so we'll table to 5-1.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, so that goes off. Next is a discussion of possible action on the 2026-2027 Public Works fees, and I see Joe Bergaw here, and he will be able to address that item with us.
Thank you for having me, Joe Bergaw, Public Works Director.
Thank you, Joe.
I try to stay ahead of it and try to get out this time of year. The only reason that it always seems like the residents say everything's always going up. Well, the reason for these is I'm trying to keep up with what is rising for us. We're just transferring the cost. The only things that we're looking, the bulky waste. So just so you know, when someone goes to the transfer station, dumps bulky waste, we haul it to New London and we get charged for it. And every year that rate goes up. So we just keep up. It's not like we're trying to soak it on people. It's just, we're just keep commensurate what ours is. So it can kind of case, if we don't do that every year, we're just giving it away, and it's with all the budget struggles. So the bulky waste fee is the first one. Second one is the same concept. It's a great program. Mattresses, it's unbelievable how many mattresses we take in. 98% of them are all free, but when they're totally disgusting wet and so like that, we have to throw them in the bulky waste, which is again a fee that goes up. So that's why we're just trying to adjust that up a little bit to try to keep up with. The last one, commercial waste charge back to that's the fee that when all the dumpsters are in town, our cost from scare is going up 11% a year. If we don't do this, and that's the main reason why I'm here on April 1st, is we have to give those commercial haulers a heads up that they got to tell their customers that the rates are going up. So if we do it now, I was actually working on a letter downstairs, once we send it out, tell them now that they can know that on July 1st the fee will be going up. They will know, but it's just commensurate. If we don't do this, we're going to lose, the town's going to lose money on this, because we're going to be paying more than what we're charging the dumpster company, because when it goes up 11%. So that's the three fees, that nothing else I'm looking to change.
Just one quick question. You're talking about the commercial waste charge from $79.94 to $89.10?
Correct.
And that's the amount that
That's-
our fee, East Lyme's fee is going up, so you're just passing it on?
Yes,
Basically pass
basically
through?
passing it on, yeah.
Okay, all right. It just seemed like a lot. That's why I was asking.
Well, 11%
Yeah.
on our charge is a
Yeah,
lot.
no, that's why I was like,
It
geez,
seems like a lot, but if you
everything's
noticed on our
going up.
line, on the Public Works line,
Yeah.
it's going up, so I'm just trying to stay ahead of it.
Yeah,
Just so you
no, I
know, last
understand.
year, we didn't get to having this discussion till May, June. It didn't get passed till August 1st, so the first month, we were actually paying more than what we're
Right.
charging.
Yeah.
So by doing it now, the fees will be set, the fees change in July 1st, we're right on top of it. We haven't lost any, we're not charging them any more than what we're just passing on
Yeah.
that increase, which all towns are facing for trash.
Okay.
I think anybody that watched the budget discussions last night for the Board of Finance understands the kind of pressure that we're under, and we can't absorb these fees, and we need to be able to pass them on to trash haulers, so that we're not holding the bag and having to pay
Yeah.
these
And
tipping fees.
I appreciate you bringing that. One of the items that I did bring up last night, and I don't endorse, but grave times come grave costs, is I did say that if it is a choice they need to get more revenue, you could really drive up the fees at the transfer station. I don't think that's the right thing to do. However, for instance, we have a transfer station loader that's got 15,000 hours, and it's going to cost $250,000, and if it gets cut, that's the operational piece up there, and we're charging people 13 cents to pick up their, so just keep that in mind, that when equipment, that
perspective.
the operation of that business is being subsidized by the taxpayers, so we're trying to keep these fees somewhat in line so that
Yeah.
the users are paying some of the cost, but the town is definitely absorbing the cost of the operation.
Yep. Joe, thanks for all you do over there and
Yes.
everything you
Yeah.
do.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Yes, under, I hate to bring it up again, leaves,
Yep,
as we've had numerous discussions.
yes.
But why are out-of-town contractors getting the same price or paying the same fee as our in-town contractors?
Well, they are and they aren't. There's a maximum fee for East Lyme contractors, so it's set. They won't pay more than $100 for a load,
$100, yeah.
but it's unlimited if it's $160. I mean, when you're starting to talk of 2.5 cents, and you're talking of $100. You're talking of tons of leaves. Like a bag of leaves weighs nothing. So they're bringing in tons of leaves. So it became very problematic of what the vehicle sizes were and which the contractors were. We've had a long discussion about it. It wasn't a huge. I think it was $4,000 of revenue on the total thing. We didn't. Maybe the board did. We didn't get any complaints from the contractors coming in. One of the things that they did complain about or wanted to get in quick or try to, keep running total or something like that, and we were really trying to work with the contractors. But if you'd ever go up there and see the pile of leaves that we have to deal with for the next 3 years, these costs really should be borne by bringing in large amounts of leaves.
I would just like to add a funny story that I had meeting a new neighbor from down south, and we spoke about how things are different up here than down there. And the first thing that was out of their mouth in terms of being a plus for the way we do business up here is Public Works and how they have bulky pickup. And it was a real source of joy for this person. So
Yeah.
you're not just getting rid of leaves, you're adding to the community and
Yeah.
in ways that people are appreciating. So just wanted to put that out there.
And we do compost it, and it does ultimately go out. And I just, as a quick note, just to let everyone know, we just got the permit from the DEP. I'm the president of SCARA, and we're moving forward with a regional composting facility.
Great.
That is going to be the future is food composting, where people are going to put food compost out. It's going to go regionally, and then that's going to be used. People are going to be able to buy back and be able to sell bulk compost. It's by dropping the amount of food waste, it's going to drop the cost of trash. Instead of having to send it to an incinerator, you're reusing it. So we're going to start with the schools. We're going to start with the big businesses, the Stop and Shops, and stuff like that. 5,000 tons a year. We're looking at moving there. It's all going to go up to. It's going to be built at the Preston facility, Preston property. So that's a huge win for the town and the region. But you might start hearing we're building it. It's just because it's in Preston, it's going to accommodate the town of East Lyme. We're not going to be picking it up. That's the next thing, of trying to figure out how the collection and all like that. But that is the future. And I don't know if Mr. Menespace was ready, but the state legislator has been really pushing food composting, and I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2-3 years it's going to be mandated. It's, starting with schools and starting with big users and starting to get to residential. So we're already on top of it, and it's the first facility in the state of Connecticut, and we're building it, and we're part of it. So that's a great.
No, that's a great project and a great initiative. I'm very happy that and you're deeply involved in that, Joe, and thank you for your initiative on that. That's the future, and we're getting ahead of it, so very happy
You're
about that.
envisioning that individual homeowners would do this as well as businesses?
Yes, ultimately it's going to be, you have your 96-gallon recycling, your 96-gallon trash, and there's going to be like a 30-gallon food pail. I mean, you don't need a 96-gallon food waste, but it's going to be by subscription on food composting. The town isn't going to absorb it, but it's by getting the whole bulk of the southeastern Connecticut to push the towns to support this. SCARA also was able to get a large grant from the state to buy all the cans and buy containers that we can put at all the transfer stations. So we're trying to buy all the infrastructure so that you can give it to people, but they're going to have to pay maybe $3, $4 a month or something like that. But that's the future. What you have to put the food waste there. That's where it goes. So.
It's
Trash
an
is
old
getting to
idea
be-
that's resurfaced. I mean, when I was a kid up in the Hartford area, we had a thing in the ground where you'd step on it and it would raise a lid, and there was a can in there that you put your meat and that kind of waste. Yeah, and then once a week there was someone that collected it, and I don't know how they recycled it, but that's what we did in those days. I remember it, and
It's retro idea.
yeah, but it was the bigger municipalities had the.
That's
All
the
right.
same thing I had in the city where I grew up. The same thing, food waste was treated separately. Went out to the pig farms afterwards.
Yeah, so.
Well, that's where we're headed.
All right.
Minus the pig farms.
So do we have a first and second on this?
No, I need to do a motion.
Okay, we got to get a motion. All right.
Move to approve the proposed Public Works fee changes as presented in the attachment to this memorandum with an effective date of July 1st, 2026.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for everything you do. Special appropriation is next, $79,009.68. It's the Nuclear Safety Emergency Program Grant. I see Julie here. Did you want to speak to that, or you here to have any questions?
We'll make a motion and
Yeah.
then we can discuss it.
Yep.
Okay. Move to approve a special appropriation in the amount of $79,009.68 to cover the cost of purchasing the listed equipment and services for the Department of Emergency Management and forward to the Board of Finance for action.
We have a second. So this is one of the grants that Julie works on, and thank you, Julie. And we have listed here all the items that are going to be purchased or paid for by this grant. It's laid out pretty clearly. Are there any questions or discussions? Questions for Julie?
I have no questions. I just want to thank you for all the work that you do with the grant specifically. I know that it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, so I thank you for that.
So this is for 1 year?
Every year, yeah.
And are we guaranteed continuation, or this is a whole reapplication process every year?
As long as Millstone is in existence, it will be available.
I see they have ham radio upgrades. That's when everything else fails, right?
Yes,
Ham radio operators can communicate with one another and
exactly.
keep us in contact.
That's
Yep.
what happened in Puerto Rico or
Yeah.
during the
Yep.
hurricane.
So we have that capability, though.
Yes. And the, if
Yeah, if you would.
Julie Wilson, interim EMT. That was a lifesaver for during Puerto Rico was the ham radio system, because when they got to the island after the hurricane had hit, I believe it was Maria, there was no communication, no phones, no cell phones, no anything, and the ham radio operators were the only communication capabilities that they had, and that's how they were able to restore, start the beginning process of restoration for the island.
These
So-
things quit working when the towers go down.
Exactly, and
Yep.
with cyber involved and all this kind of stuff too, there's so many potential threats that could take down our communications, that this ham radio thing is essential, and the equipment we currently have in the EOC is prehistoric, maybe?
Well,
But it's old.
that's an
And
argument for another day. But
It's time for an upgrade
Okay.
there, so,
Thank you, Julie.
yep.
Any other questions on this? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you
Thank you.
again.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, now the next, this is probably the most controversial thing on the agenda tonight. Approve the 2026 Lions Club lease for the annual Arts and Crafts event. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve and to authorize the first selectman to enter into a lease agreement with the Niantic Lions Club for the purpose of selling food in connection with the art show on July 4th and 5th, 2026. The town grants to the Lions for the period of 4 p.m. on Friday, July 3rd, and shall end at 10 p.m. on Sunday, July 5th. The right to use the land at the town hall on Pennsylvania Avenue, which is to be set aside for that purpose by the town.
Do I hear a second? Okay, any discussion?
I would just thank the Lions for bringing art so central to our community and making a, years-long commitment to pulling this off. And if you've never been, it's a wonderful event, and I encourage everyone to go. And I just really appreciate the fact that they pull it off every year, and it's always wonderful.
It's been a long time that they've been doing it.
They have been doing it a
Yeah,
long time.
and it's, yep.
So I have a comment. So I'm looking at the time of it, and just bear with me, but it starts at, I guess, for the Lions, 4 p.m. on Friday, July 3rd. And my question is this: before, the town hall used to close at 5 on Fridays. Now we close at, is it
Noon.
11:30?
11:30.
So,
They don't actually, they don't start, that's just when they start coming in to set up, and they actually start doing that 2 days prior to this, but I don't know if it makes that much difference. It's not like they come in and take everything over, it's a process.
so they come in before
And
this
I
time
would
anyway?
certainly
Okay.
go over
Because I was
and
going to say,
go.
you could, put it earlier if, if the town hall is closed, I was thinking, but if they're already,
They start marking out the spots
And
and
they-
things ahead of
okay.
time, yeah.
and the vendors aren't coming in, then,
No.
Okay.
And you'll see them
All right.
Friday night, they'll be setting up, there'll be a lot of vans and
okay,
carts and things.
There's always a lot of, but they
Yeah.
stay until everybody leaves. And,
Okay.
I mean, we could change it on the lease if you want to,
I
but
think-
they're well aware of that.
they're, okay.
Well,
So it's kind
Jason-
of a little loose.
Jason, I don't know if you noticed number 7, no music for dancing shall be provided. Did you think? we
Veto
should-
that.
Well, as long as you're not dancing, I guess it's okay. Music for other things.
Could we amend it to say unless they're Dan Cunningham
Oh,
playing out the side of his window of office?
There you go. So, all right, we good with this one?
Yep.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Great. As Jason says, they do a nice job. Next is we have an appointment to the Harbor Management Commission. Do I hear a motion?
Move to appoint Paul Grady of 92 Old Black Point Road, Niantic, to serve as a member on the Harbor Management Commission for the town of East Lyme, with a term to expire on January 7th, 2030.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Great. Yeah, Paul, it looks like reading his letter, he has a lot of history and experience on the water around here, around these parts, and probably a great person to have on that commission. So I certainly support it.
Yep.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Being none, the motion carries. Okay, next is discussion of possible action using $14,000 from the opioid fund to create a bicycle unit.
It's not on our agenda.
Yep. Yep.
Do you need one?
I do not have it on my agenda.
Oh, you have an amended.
This says filed March 27th at 8:55 a.m.
The updated one was March 30th.
Yep.
We'll get you an updated.
Thank you. Oh,
Does that have
there it is.
Yep. Okay. So, again, this is a discussion of possible action on using $14,000 from the opioid fund for a bicycle unit.
We've had previous discussion on this in a presentation, have we not?
No.
No.
I don't
Haven't we
recall
had-
that.
Haven't we had discussion about the bicycle unit?
We talked about it, I think, in the
It was
budget
part of this
deliberations.
budget.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
budget deliberations. And I think it was taken out of the budget deliberation. So now it's, here's another way of approaching it and using the, I can never say it, opioid settlement funds. And, there's a criteria that, in order to use those funds, it has to be related somehow to opioid abuse. And if you've gone through the correspondence from the chief, the justification, some of those justifications are enhanced rapid response, overdose intervention, so the bicycle crew would have the Narcan available on their bikes. It's increased community engagement and trust. Bicycles can get in and out of the crowds better and can get to places that a police cruiser or even someone walking can get there quicker. It's improved access to the underserved and high-risk areas. It also supports prevention through a visible presence, having those bicycles on the street, visible. It may serve as a deterrent and also be available if someone needs to flag down an officer, if someone's passed out somewhere from an overdose, a greater likelihood that they can respond quicker, and can facilitate and coordinate with public health initiatives, and it provides cost-effective, sustainable policing. So a bicycle unit patrol, it's low cost, environmentally sound, and really creates a presence that people recognize and I think appreciate.
Can I ask a question, Kevin?
No.
Yeah, no, we have a motion. Let me do the motion, and then I have some questions for Kevin. Move to approve the appropriation of $14,000 of opioid settlement funds for the purpose of establishing the East Line Bicycle Unit and forward to the Board of Finance for approval. Note, this requires a town meeting.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, have a
So-
second? So you,
first-
did you just make the, I'm sorry.
I made the motion.
You made the
Looking
motion.
for a
And it was seconded.
And we have a second. Okay,
Okay.
good. So now
So
we can.
just
So-
really quickly, and we're going to start talking about it, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to have conversation
Yep.
on it. So I appreciate this. I thought that this was a great idea, and I liked it. I think that it would be well-served here in East Lyme. That is for sure. My only concern is that we're looking at opioid settlement funds, $14,000, and I think that we're riding the line here on possibly being able to utilize those funds, because it is a grant. And I just want to make sure that that would be something that we could do. But is it really best served to kind of come out of this? I do think that it's quick, it's off the rip, and all right, we're going to just utilize this money with very little discussion except for here, but we're not really talking about or having conversation with the other department and the police department together. Other options, do we have other options like the cannabis, where I think that funds from that possibly could be used instead of the opioid. I just want to kind of have a little bit deeper dive in on this.
Well, Kevin
And I'm certainly, I would love to see this downtown for sure, but I think that we're riding the line on the opioid fund. Go ahead.
All right, so with that, we did check with legal counsel on this, the use of funds, the appropriateness of the opioid settlement grants, and Tracy, you agree? We did follow the legal channels and got authorization from legal counsel on this funding.
Okay.
So what I have, and then if you have any questions about the actual program, that'd be best served for the chief, but
yeah.
just I want to go over the financial piece of this.
Yeah.
So the opioid settlement funds to date, we have $196,567.45. Left to collect in this fiscal year, we have 2 payments left of $2,000 and about $3,300. So we're going to end the year with about $200,000. If you flip to the second page on this little attachment here, so right now we have spent about $1,200 this year in the opioid settlement funds, and that was to reimburse some police officers for continuing education and some things like that.
That was specifically aligned with opioids.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. I think there was a harm reduction conference or something to that
I'm
effect they went to,
familiar with it,
and they coordinated with the
Yep.
Youth Family
Commission.
Human Services Commission on that. So the second page you're looking at here is our kind of proposal and working, budget for the opioid settlement funds. So you can see the first line there is the proposal for the $14,000 for this bike unit. In the first Selectmen's budget process this year, as part of the reduction for the Youth and Family Service Department, we're going to, come forward to the board around the first meeting in June to get this appropriated for the July 1 timeframe. But we're going to allocate $39,185 to fully fund the Wellness Prevention Coordinator within the Youth Family Service Department, as well as coordinate with the Youth Family Service Department to coordinate some other dollars. You see that TBD there. We're working actively with Sarah Furman to come to an amount so we can budget for the whole year on the opioid settlement funds. So with these anticipated spend, you can still see we're at about $143,000. And if you flip back to the front, you can see that every year until 2039, we're anticipating between $32,000 and $13,000 worth of payments. So right now we've collected about $200,000, and all we're going to collect an additional $325,000, bringing the total opioid settlement dollars to just shy of $500,000. So with that, if you have questions about the program, I'll turn over to the chief, but financially, does anyone have any questions?
So financially and legally, we can utilize that money.
Yeah, Tracy.
We did provide a written opinion to you, Kevin? I don't know
I
if
don't-
it was
I don't
ever
have the written
disseminated.
opinion. That's okay. I appreciate you just speaking to it then. I don't have the written
Okay.
opinion. I just want to make sure that when we're utilizing money and funding where that grant, because it is very important, okay?
And they're
Um,
very strict about it, so
Exactly.
you're right.
That's why I
We
wanted to
did
be
do the
first
deep
positive.
dive, and,
Okay.
and I don't know if the chief had already thought of this, but we're the ones who said if you're going to get these bikes, the officers have to carry Narcan. There's
Correct.
programs all over the country that do that. So,
Okay. That's great. I
It's all
appreciate
legit, I
that so
believe.
very much,
Yep.
because that's the only thing that came to my mind.
No, that was a concern, and we addressed it, and we got advice on that, yeah.
One more quick question, Kevin. Sure. The wellness prevention coordinator you have for $39,185.
Correct.
Is that, can you tell me like what time frame or whether it's full-time, part-time? Like, I don't know
So
what
that's
that
just
is.
a piece of that individual's salary.
Okay.
The remaining $19,985, I believe it is coming from the Youth Service Bureau grant. There's a
Okay.
portion of that grant that's set aside for salaries as well. The
Okay.
general fund is still picking up the benefits. So the general
Okay.
fund is picking up the health insurance. It's a single plan, so it's about $16,000 a year. But this is, great use of the opioid settlement funds.
That was my next question.
we're
So
able to
this
cobble
wellness
together.
prevention coordinator is spot on then for this. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Okay,
Okay,
great.
that's great.
Well,
Thank you.
I think this is a great opportunity because this is something that would not likely be funded in our regular budget.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It did get cut out of the
It
capital
did.
budget, so.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Secondly, I think that this is a very positive approach to policing. It's visible, be visible for the most part year-round. Someone who wants to talk to a police officer and mention something is more likely to go over, particularly a younger person, go over and talk to a police officer on a bicycle, as opposed to walking up to the car and knocking on the window.
No.
So I think that this is a great opportunity for us, and let's see what happens.
I'm very encouraged, it's a great model, and I'm glad we're doing it here.
Oh, me too,
It's
absolutely.
progressive, so.
Chief Glenn, do you mind standing up and just talking a little bit about what the vision is here on this? Because we really didn't get into it too much, other than that it was on the budget and then it got removed. So I have kind of what that's going to look like, but for coming from you, I think it'd be great.
Sure, I missed the first part. I was
Just
walking
kind of
up here.
run through
The
what
program
your
itself?
vision is for it, yeah.
Sure. So high visibility bicycle patrols in the downtown Niantic area, Main Street, but also saturating the parking lots, the parks, the boardwalk, the beach communities. Typically areas that normal patrol, as you said, in a police car, we don't have the opportunity to actually patrol and be visible in. It's a much more approachable aspect or strategy to policing. And, we don't typically respond to all medical calls, but overdose incidents we respond to with the fire department and our EMS partners. Unlike the fire department, who respond from the fire stations, and EMS, who respond to their staging locations, the police are out there in the field in patrol cars, responding to calls like overdoses. We're typically the first ones there. This would allow us more of an opportunity to be able to respond to those other areas quicker and easier.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any further questions or discussion?
I think this is the opioid issue. People like to think, East Lyme is insulated from this sort of thing, but
We are
I'm sure
not.
you could attest to the fact that it is not at all. And, these services, the services folks in need like that really benefit from, are hard to get to them, hard to connect with them. So this is a step in the right direction in terms of making some resources available to them. And I don't think any police officer, signs up because they want to fulfill this role in the community, but I think it's an essential one, and I applaud you guys for stepping up and doing it.
And I want to apologize if I created the perception of an us versus them as far as town departments, but we certainly look forward to working hand in hand with other providers, and that's why we want to be out there on the bikes to be able to push out that information and work in collaboration with our partners.
Yeah, and we do. I mean, the commission, we have people that serve on the commission that are police officers. We have a good partnership for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of collaboration.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes
Well,
that people
everything, yeah,
don't see.
great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chief. Any further questions or discussion? Let's call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right. Ex officio reports. Roseanne, we'll start with you this time.
Zoning continues to be a rather warm place, shall we say. Number of hot issues, particularly the proposed affordable housing development at Park Place. That has been denied. However, there is a lot of activity going on there now. There's a lot of clear cutting, hole digging. I drove by the site today, so obviously, I've been by there 2 or 3 times, but obviously there's something else being planned for that location, and there's still quite a bit of public opposition to this. It's rather surprising, particularly the number of trees that are coming down. Seems to me that pretty soon we're going to have a town nickname, the town without trees. Tomorrow night's meeting is canceled, and that is enough for zoning. Also, some additional questions about where we might get additional budget cuts from, and are we going to have some additional discussion on that under the direction from the Board of Finance, or
I
where are we
can't speak to that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Jason?
So the East Lyme 250, America 250 committee is supposed to meet here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock?
Yep.
6 o'clock. All right, so that's happening. There's been a lot of really cool things happening around town. Flyers are going up here in Town Hall. A lot of people are celebrating, commemorating the moment in their own kind of special way. Brookside Farm Museum has not met recently. We are still struggling to find commissioners. However, there's some exciting things happening this summer, some programs. Some annual appeal letter just went out. There's some music programs coming out. So that'll be exciting to look forward to. And Stars to STEM is normally doing a first Friday. This time they're actually doing the second Friday because the first Friday would be Good Friday. So for this month, you can see Dapper Rabbit and Matherlines, 2 jazz bands, play on the 10th up at the planetarium. And that's it for me.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Excuse me, Candace? Okay. And I don't have anything. We had a conflict with the police commission, so I couldn't attend. I think we were all together that night going over our budget. So, all right. So I don't have anything. First Selectmen's report. As everybody knows, we're in the middle of the budget process. The Board of Finance now. It's they have the budget right now, and they're doing their deliberations. So everybody should be aware of that, and that can be viewed on the TV, on YouTube or the public access channel. The I-95-161 bridge project, we're starting to see daylight at the end of that. They are still on track for the end of November coming up. They are now swinging steel up to the final members of the steel to complete that bridge. They're doing that right now. I believe April 8th and the 9th, there'll be some closures at night as they pick up the steel, and then again on April 14th and through the 16th. So, that's the phase that interrupts the road. So, we're nearing the end of that phase of the project. So, it's very interesting to watch, and they've really done a great job. And I appreciate all the, keeping the town informed and working with Public Works and the police and myself. So, they're job. Right now, we're in negotiations. We're negotiating 3 contracts, the firefighters, the IAFF, the police union contract, and the dispatch union contract. They all expire on June 30th of this year. So we're well into union negotiations with them, and we will keep plodding along here, and hopefully we complete that process before they expire. And that's all I have for the Selectmen's report. Communications, already talked about that, right? Those issues?
Yep.
Okay. Is there any public comment at this time? And again, please identify yourself. Thank you.
It's the
Static electricity.
I'm electric.
Woogie, woogie, woogie.
Jamie Bar-Shelburne, 31 McElhaney Drive. I just want to say thank you for the discussion. I'm in no means against the police department. I'm just frustrated by the lack of the communication. We seem to have a lot of mixed messaging going on about our commission and the opioid funds, and it gets really frustrating for us because tonight was the first time we actually heard how much there actually is in the opioid fund balance. And for us, that's really frustrating because we hear all these different totals, and for us, that's very frustrating. So it just gets to be very frustrating when we're trying to do good things and we're getting mixed messaging. So that was where we were coming from. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And just to respond to that, those numbers are available to the public, and Kevin Gervais does a great job of keeping track of all of it. So if you have a question on that, please just reach out and try to get you that information. At this time, we're going to move into executive session. I would ask for a motion, and I would like to invite counsel, Tracy Collins, and Justin Porter into the executive session.
Okay, I'll make a, excuse me, move to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing potential claims litigation, along with Attorney Tracy Collins and Justin Porter.
As an individual, not in
As
his role.
As an individual.
Yeah.
And Tracy Collins is town council at, I guess, 8:37.
And I think maybe we can move into the little conference room?
I need a second.
Yeah, okay. Let's just use the little conference room.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The board entered into executive session at 8:37 PM. The board returned at 9:51 PM, and no formal votes were taken. Okay, I move to adjourn the April 1st, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen at 9:51 PM.
I second.
Do I have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions?
Okay.